third day of the conference. I hope you have enjoyed the sessions yesterday. You also had the moment for the a little bit of networking and discussions on the spoonboat. So I hope that was also an added value in the conference. And today we're gonna start with a keynote speech from Dr. Maria Chiara Pettenati from Indire, Research Director of Indire in Italy, and also Professor Maria Ranieri from the University of Florence, but unfortunately she couldn't make it. And then we will proceed with a panel discussion with some of the teacher educators attending the conference and representatives of the NSOs, the National Support Organizations. And for that, my colleague Ruth will explain further. Then we will have a short break, followed by a reflection session. So based on the input that you have so far, and also from today's keynote, we would like to brainstorm a bit on future activities and formats and models that we implement in eTwinning for future teachers. And then we will move to the closing of the conference. So with no further delay, I would like to invite Dr. Pettenati for the presentation. Yeah.
Thank you, Nikolaos, and good morning, everyone. And have a nice Saturday here in Budapest, and thank you for being here today. And let me introduce myself as I am Research Director in Indire. Indire is the Italian National Institute for Documentation, Innovation and Educational Research, and is also a national Erasmus Plus agency. And we have our headquarters in Florence, where we come from, myself and my colleague Elena Bettini from the Italian NSO. And we have also a big headquarters in Rome of Indire and Erasmus Plus. But this double nature of Indire, meaning that we are both a research institute, an educational research institute, as well as Erasmus Plus agency, we were in the condition to start encouraging the use of eTwinning throughout the teacher careers since a long time ago. We wanted to both to encourage the use of eTwinning in all the stages of the teacher career, as well as to study the impact in the different phases, starting from initial teacher education with a main focus on the 5 years dedicated to the preparation of future primary teachers, passing through the one mandatory training and probation year that all newly qualified teachers have to pass before being qualified as full-time teacher in-service teachers, as well as, of course, encouraging and accompanying teachers throughout using eTwinning as a very sound professional development opportunity towards all the lifelong learning perspective. The Italian journey of eTwinning in initial teacher education started very early in 2012 when the first pre-pilot was launched. Italy was among the 5 countries who joined this pre-pilot, and of course its engagement grew over the years until 2018, in which all European countries were encouraged to use to promote the adoption of eTwinning in initial teacher education. Of course, a cornerstone in this timeline was the possibility to enroll student teachers in the European platform and to start to deliver and to design real eTwinning projects in 2019. Just to provide you with an overview of the of the growth rate of the number of universities participating in eTwinning over the years, starting from 2012 when we were in the pre-pilot phase, but with a steady growth, as you can see, with some slowdown around the years of the pandemic, as you imagine, as it happened in all European countries. But as you see with the 2024 numbers, the growth has started again. And we count today 32 universities in 18 Italian regions. So since we have in Italy 20 regions, we have almost a total coverage of our regions with 32 universities already participating. Of course, so far, universities that enroll, that join eTwinning ITE are mainly from primary education for the preparation of primary education teachers. But we start to have two languages department, and of course we are really committed to let join universities that prepare secondary teachers, which is the strong need that we have. Of course, we have a number of students already registered in the platform since 2019, as you might see. We conducted a lot of research activities with on the idea and on the mandate of our national NSO. And the first research we did is we wanted to analyze the impact of the eTwinning experience on the professional development of in-service teachers. This publication is freely downloadable as at the link you can see here, and it was very inspiring research. Our colleagues from the NSO asked us to join them in this research, since they felt that over here the impact of eTwinning on the teacher was so touchable, was so strong in their experience, that they wanted to provide research evidence on what they felt it was really occurring and definitely occurring in the experience. The second research is this one, dedicated to the analysis of the impact of eTwinning experience on the preparation of future teachers. Is the publication that you received in your welcome box and is also downloadable at the link you can see here. Of course, this research inherited the results of the first research because it was inspired, and the bet we made is let's see if the competencies that are fostered by in-service teachers are also supported in the preparation of future teachers. Let's make a step back just to focus one main result of the first research, that is the result of the impact of eTwinning experience on in-service teacher competencies. If we divide the professional competencies of a teacher into three main areas, where the didactic area, of course, is the broader one, the bigger one, but there is also a competence area dedicated to the role or to the engagement of the teacher within the school community, within the institution, within the territory in which the school is located. And the third competence area, which is dedicated to the professionalization of the teacher. A teacher must take care of her own professionalization. We discovered with our research that the most impacted area, as you certainly guess, is the didactic area. the teacher that took part in this study revealed that, of course, the most impacted competence was the capability to co-design, the increase in the effectiveness of co-designing educational activities, mainly thanks to the project-based learning methodology, and of course the capability, the empowerment of the capability of using digital technologies and the diversify the use of digital technologies in their teaching, as well as the promotion of student transversal competencies, as you guess and as you experience yourself, as well digital competencies of students. The second most impacted area is the area of professionalization. Here, teachers reported to feel empowered in the digital ethics, having the capability to work and to play with their students within a safe online environment in which they felt that they were growing their digital ethics together with this competence of their students. And of course, also in this area, what was remarked by the teacher is that they felt supported by a new methodology of continuous professional development, which is peer learning among teachers, and collaboration, based on collaboration. The third area was also impacted, but to a lesser extent so far. This area suffers from what teachers told us, that they feel somehow sometimes lonely in their school. They feel that they can put in place and use a wonderful strategy mechanism to be empowered to perform in a better with a better didactics, but they don't feel they can reach their colleagues within the same school. So this third area is less impacted, was reported to be less impacted by our teachers. Another results that we discovered in our research with in-service teachers is that the longer and the more intensive teachers experience eTwinning, meaning they design projects, they carry out projects systematically, and the more they benefit from the training organized by the NSO, the better they perceive they are more efficacy within all the three competency areas. So there is a direct and evident correlation between self-efficacy and the involvement and the intense involvement in eTwinning. Staying continuously in eTwinning impacts on the self-efficacy of teachers. As for initial teacher education, as I showed before, we are here today with a lot of universities involved. We have a growing number of universities asking our NSO to be accompanied, to join ITE, and this makes our NSO very engaged in accompanying institutions in making the first steps. The first very step is the formal adhesion to ITE, eTwinning ITE, which takes the form of a signed agreement between our institute and the ITE Institute. Once the agreement is signed, the university is registered in the platform, and this, of course, occurs thanks to the engagement and the direct engagement of a university professor or a university tutor. Then the list of the students participating in the eTwinning ITE is submitted to our NSO, and the list of students is validated by the NSO, so the students can start to receive training on eTwinning. This is, of course, supported by regional ambassadors and university tutors, often coinciding. And then students can start to engage in real eTwinning projects. These are the normal steps of joining eTwinning in ITE. As for Italy, as in many other European countries, the initial teacher education of pre-primary and primary school teachers develops across a 5-year curriculum, of course, and we have the curriculum envisages a traineeship starting from year 2 to year 5, of course, and the traineeship is the ideal place in which eTwinning can start to support future teacher competence development, of course, to different degrees of development, because in year 2 to year 3 we have mainly a situation of observation of eTwinning projects. Then in year 4 students can start to design their own projects and to play and to simulate a real eTwinning project. Then in year 5, in the occasion of the direct traineeship, they can really play and engage in a real eTwinning project with students. Of course, in order for all these to be successful, we have key actors that play a crucial role in the success of the initiatives. And you are the key actors. And of course, in order to start, professors, assistants, which are sensitive and prepared and trained to eTwinning, can engage, enlighten the eTwinning light and start with this journey. We saw that the most common, as I said before, place in which eTwinning is developed is the indirect traineeship at the university. This, of course, must be supported by university tutors. And direct traineeship need agreements with school in which hosting tutors need to be expert in eTwinning. So the ideal conditions in order for eTwinning ITE to start to flourish need to be cultivated, thanks to these key actors and eTwinning ambassadors, and of course with the support of the NSO. One result of our research in the impact of eTwinning in future teacher education is a sort of schema of the trends and models that our universities adopt in our country. And we can schematize these models in 2 main types. A first type in which eTwinning is integrated into the curriculum, into the ordinary curriculum. As said, the indirect traineeship most commonly, but also language courses, as well as technology courses or workshops, and to a lesser extent in specific subject, pedagogy, general didactics, children's literature, and specific subjects that can be a good place in which eTwinning can be combined. Of course, this first type of integration of eTwinning in ITE demands for defining rules for recognitions of this participation. For instance, recognition can be supported through the issuing of a few university credits, or it can concur to the definition of the final exam grade in some situation. It can be counted and valued in terms of a number of hours that the students can be valued for their curriculum. Or it can concur to support the thesis score, final score at the end of the curriculum. A second model is related to hands-on. Students can be engaged and participate in real eTwinning projects. Of course, these again can be splitted into different models. Students can play in a simulated environment in which they collaborate among themselves, sometimes within the same university, sometimes with students from another university in the same country, sometimes again with other students from universities in foreign countries. But of course, at the final year, most frequently at the 5th year, with direct internship, students can have the occasion to engage in real eTwinning projects with real students and children. This is, of course, done in collaboration between schools and educational institutes. I wanted to provide an overview with this infographic that you can find in this publication, just to show the list of the universities adopting eTwinning ITEE in Italy on the left side. Then we have, in the first column, the universities that use eTwinning in the indirect internship. As you can see, they are the majority. And the darker dots stands for the year in which the university start to engage their students in eTwinning. Less frequent is the introduction of eTwinning in English laboratories, as you see in the second column. Less frequent, more or less frequent is its use in educational technology laboratory. And really, unfortunately, and I think that we have to make a big effort together to populate the last right column, because this is the very column in which we can demonstrate and leverage all the potential of eTwinning. And I think that we should, at a European level, be strongly committed to support this population of the last column. Here we can see, just to provide again a glimpse, on the ways in which universities engage students in student-to-student projects, which is the most frequent case, the left column, and real projects, the right column. As you can see, there are many zeros on the right columns, meaning that universities are less inclined to include, to engage students, because of course this demands a lot of effort. My colleague Maria Ranieri would have discussed the important results of the multiple evaluation case study she conducted together with Indira and NSO, and which is published in chapter 3, so I invite you to read this chapter 3. And during this case study, they interviewed the 5 universities in Italy which have started their twinning journey since the very beginning, so pioneer universities, and they interviewed different stakeholders in these institutions to come out with an important result, which is the pedagogical competencies that are supported in future teacher preparation thanks to eTwinning. And I think that this result can help us to introduce and to sustain the introduction of eTwinning in the left column, the pedagogical area, as I highlighted before. So, of course, you perfectly know, but this is research evidences that can be demonstrated and brought to your institution to convince them that students will be empowered as for their learning design competencies, in the teaching practices, in facilitating learning process and the outcomes, in the inclusion competencies, and as well as in the assessment competencies. So today we are at the beginning of a new journey in Italy, because we are committed to support the preparation of secondary school teachers and to sustain the use of eTwinning. We have the occasion of the reform that we had in Italy with quite recent decree that introduced a 60 university credits training course that is today mandatory for future secondary teachers. The areas in which this 60 credits course, which is makes a one-year course, are structured, fits very well with our purpose. So we want to sustain eTwinning in the pedagogical areas, but also in supporting and letting disciplinarists in understanding how important is to introduce an innovative eTwinning methodology in specific disciplines, with specific regard to STEM areas, which is really less prepared, less attentive to this approach, and of course with the direct and indirect internship, and on that we have a lot of experience. We used the national ITE coordination meeting we had in Naples last May to conduct a World Café, in which our experts, most of them are here today from the Italian delegation, were invited to discuss this topic. And were asked to provide suggestions on how eTwinning could be introduced in the preparation of secondary school teachers. They came out with a lot of interesting ideas, starting from reinforcing our commitment to start from the pedagogical area. So now we are in the preparation of a pilot. We would like to co-design a standard national module to support universities, thanks to the NSO, and then to accompany universities in adopting and engaging in this pilot. So we want to co-develop a model and analyze, of course, once we have done it, to analyze the impact on the competencies of future teachers. I wanted just to conclude and to dedicate my final remarks to some recommendations for newcomers in eTwinning ITE. Because our experiences teaches us to, of course, to leverage both the direct and indirect traineeship as the ideal context for using eTwinnings. But I encourage you to focus on didactic teaching to unlock the true eTwinning innovation potential. To do so, to disseminate the impact of eTwinning ITE through the institutional stakeholders. I encourage you to use policy briefs, to use information days, to promote science cafes in your universities, to disseminate and to share your starting arguments, and to engage with didactic teacher education and propose a collaboration. Go to a didactic teacher educator in your university and propose, let's use eTwinning to apply what you are teaching in your classes and see what happens. Of course, stay connected with your NSO, with the ambassador, which are the superpowers, have the superpowers to support this endeavor to occur. And anyway, start wherever you like, because anything works to get started and has a value. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the great insights and the input. And please keep in mind that you actually can use some of these ideas during the reflection model. Do we have any questions, perhaps? Good job. Or comments, yeah? No? Okay.
Everybody, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
I can't hear myself. Thank you very much for the presentation, and I want to raise my hand as a newcomer for actually it's portrayed to what extent the opportunity could be happening in bringing more of members, as you suggest. I was thinking, for example, in our case, we have more than 5,000 institutions registered as NGOs in Jordan. 90 of them are internationals. And I was thinking to what extent, you know, NGOs or the NCO, you know, the organizations that NSO. Yeah, I mean, how resourceful they were for us at the university. And one thing, bringing the evidence-based to help us to, you know, develop our students' ability, but our abilities as well. So I really wanted to thank you for this remark, and I think we will start from here, you know, developing this kind of network. Again, as I said, I am not a European country, but all the European country in Jordan. So I think this is where I want to go back home to start this link, either with the university, as I am in university, but also with NGOs, and maybe we could connect with NGOs who are already in here, NSO. All right, thank you, and have a lovely day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sahar. Any other questions or comments? Yeah.
Hello, everybody. I was just thinking, in an interconnected world, the idea, the pilot, I know it's a pilot project to develop, I suppose, almost you could see a module on eTwinning that could be made available to teachers throughout Europe as a competency, you know, something like the digital badge, you know, they could get it, we could come up with some innovative, you know, accreditation terminology and name for this new module to motivate teachers throughout Europe and other associated countries with the eTwinning program to complete this module as part of a competency, you know, for their curriculum vitae. So I could see great potential for the future, and it would be in keeping with interconnectivity throughout the world, you know, in the time we're living. So thank you for that work. It's very inspiring.
Perfect, thank you. And keep that idea for the next session, for the reflection models. Great. Thank you. So now I think it's time to move on to our panel discussion. And for that, I would like to invite my colleague, Ruth Baptista, Profession Development Manager of the Central Support Service, working with us, with my colleagues in eTwinning and the European School Education Platform. Yeah.
Thank you. Good morning to everyone. I would like to, first of all, say good morning. And second, thank you for engaging and for being so much involved in all discussions, in all workshops. It was really, really a pleasure to have you as a group during this conference. Our colleague just mentioned the interconnected world, and in an interconnected world, citizenship education is more than a subject. is something that we really should discuss and we really should invest on, not just in the students, but also in the building of the teacher profession. And for a small conversation, I would like to call it a small conversation, not because it's small, but because it's short in time, okay? I would like to invite some colleagues on stage, and I would like to invite Madeleine Flototo, a teacher educator from Germany. And please, thank you. An applause for them. They're really brave. Frederick from Belgium, and Monika Regulska, a representative of a national support organization in Poland. Thank you. So you can take a seat, yes. Let's take a seat. And as you can see also on the slide, we will have, sorry, just balancing here my notes and everything that I need to hold on. This conversation will have a different format. And as you can see on the slide, we will have an empty chair. This empty chair is actually an invitation to all of you to join us on stage. So you don't need to be nervous, I'm not going to point. But I would like you to actually be comfortable to join us, and I will invite at least 3 people to come on stage and join the conversation with us, okay? So before we start, I would like also to invite our online audience, and thank you for the ones that are joining us online, for being the brave ones on a Saturday morning to be with us online. Thank you so much for that. And for them, we also have a question and a way to be involved. And also for everyone else here in this room, please, you can also join us on Slido. We will look into the questions later on. So please, you can already join the Slido and start answering the questions. I hope it is working. You can go to slido.com and then put the code. I'll leave it in a moment there. So let's kick off our discussion. But before, I would like to ask our panelists to just briefly introduce themselves and just say a few words about themselves. You can use those microphones as you wish. Maybe Madeleine, you can go first. Madeleine, just to clarify, Madeleine is actually representing here, let's say, the newcomers. So all of you that are here for the first time and listening to eTwinning for the first time, she's representing those. And Frederick is actually one of the oldest teacher educators in eTwinning. I think I met him in 2012 when we started this pilot. So it's truly an honor to have him here as well, representing all the ones that have a lot of experience in this area, and Monika representing the national support organizations. But maybe Madeleine, you can tell us a little bit about yourself, your institution, what are you doing?
Okay. So hi everyone, I'm Madeleine Flöth-Otto. I'm from the Friedrich-Alexander-Universität in Erlangen, Germany, Erlangen-Nuremberg, Germany. And we incorporate eTwinning in our general introduction to education and pedagogy with a focus on international education. So we're always trying to take like an international comparative perspective on pedagogy, on teaching, on being in class.
Hello, I'm Frederick Delare from Ho West University of Applied Sciences. I've been a teacher educator for about 10 years. I have been teaching in secondary education for 20 years. And I've been trying to integrate eTwinning in the curriculum of our teacher education. I've been involved in several eTwinning projects and also Erasmus Plus projects where eTwinning was part of.
Hi, my name is Monika Regulska and I'm a real eTwinning dinosaur because I work for eTwinning since June 2006 and for ITE since 2014, so when it began for Poland.
Thank you, Monika. I'm also a dinosaur. I've had the pleasure to be in eTwinning since 2005, since its inception. So I also watched actually this pilot came from many requests from teacher educators to actually implement eTwinning in their own curricula. So it was a totally a bottom-up approach, a totally a request from you or from your peers, and it started as a pilot, and indeed it grew because there's a point in it, of course. there's a meaning and there's a purpose to include eTwinning in teacher education. But today here we are actually going to discuss about fostering citizenship education, and we were discussing earlier about the importance of this topic in teacher education and in the building of the teacher profession, and how much maybe we overlook into this to this topic, and actually how eTwinning actually can contribute to the promotion and to the growth of citizenship education in teacher education. So to start, I would like to kick off with this question, and the question is, what is the role of eTwinning in supporting the promotion of values such as democracy, respect for human rights, cultural diversity, and environmental sustainability, which all embody the citizenship education? So I don't know who would like to kick off the answer. Yeah? Thank you.
Well, I think eTwinning can be a framework, a vehicle for working on these values. I think eTwinning can be, for future teachers, it can be a kind of a thing that makes them change agents. Because the European values, these values as democracy, respect for human rights, freedom of expression, they are under threat. And I think it's important that the future teachers, the teachers of tomorrow, that they inherit or they implement these values in their teaching. And I think it's important as teacher educators that we get our students acquainted with eTwinning, because then they can do eTwinning projects themselves. So if they learn it in teacher training, they get the grips, they know how the platform works, they know the methodology, and they can do it themselves in the classroom. So actually the impact we have as teacher educators is very big. We have a very big responsibility, in my view.
Thank you, Frederick. Want to go? Yep.
And I think that the most important thing is to give student teachers also the possibility to experience these values and live them, really practically use them in a safe space. So it takes a lot of courage being a citizen, I think. And I think what we as teacher educators what we have to do is encourage them, like really giving them the courage to be active as a citizen and also as someone educating future citizens. And I think actually eTwinning is the perfect space for this, because it gives you a way of giving voice. Also, you as a student teacher or as a teacher, you have to have some kind of opinion. Well, you are the ones giving value education, and maybe you have to find your value first. So, and also in international education and in international comparison, you might find what is the value you want to transmit, and also the value you will stand for in a classroom. And I think that is very important. And sometimes in a national context, you're not able to explore this because this is the framing you're used to. But going into interaction with another framework and finding out that there might be differences in values and also differences in perspectives, you will find who you are. And I think this is the most important thing as a teacher, finding your personality and having courage to speak up for it.
That's very deep, I would say, and very, very important as well. Would you like to comment, Monica?
Yeah, I think we should definitely write this down, because we could use it very efficiently in the future. And I would like to make one more remark at the end, because there's nothing much to say after this, that eTwinning projects are perfect natural environment to boost all those values. Through its structure, it gives you excellent and completely natural opportunity to focus on them, to train you in this, in being a citizenship of something bigger than your closest environment. And I think the teaching, future teacher, eTwinning as a method of the everyday work with students is our future. Not only eTwinning, but all of us as human beings.
Thank you. Well, I asked the audience if they consider, sorry, I can see it, but you cannot. Do you consider European values important for future teachers? And actually, I don't know why it's not showing up, but I would like to see the results. Maybe, thank you, Nikos. Sorry, just a small technical detail. Okay, so everyone considers the European values important for future teachers. Well, not everyone. Someone doesn't have an opinion about it, and someone says to some extent. Okay, thank you for showing up the results, at least for me, so I can share it with you. I'm very sorry that it is not working. Maybe now you will be able to see it. Sorry for that. It will come. Okay, and while the results are showing up, I would like actually now to invite a volunteer for our empty chair. Who wants to join us in this conversation? Go ahead. Thank you. Raquel from Spain. Thank you. Raquel, can you just say a few words about yourself?
Hello, everybody. Some people know me. I'm Raquel Sanchez from the University, Faculty of Education in Albacete, at the University of Castilla-La Mancha. I also feel like a dinosaur because we started eTwinning for 10 years. We were pioneers in Spain, so I'm very proud of that. And I've met wonderful people during this year. So thank you, everybody, for this.
Thank you, Raquel, for being the brave one that jumps on stage with us. Well, the next set of questions, and now I would like to go back to my slide, if possible. Thank you. And to move to the next question. Thank you, because I cannot move the slides. My next question is more about eTwinning and citizenship education in teacher education. And I would like to ask you, any of you who would like to answer, maybe Raquel to start with, who knows, which competences would you target when addressing citizenship education to your student teachers? And maybe if you want to add on to that, how actually do you sustain the interest in citizenship education beyond eTwinning projects?
Okay. I personally think that right now education is a little bit fragmented, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow we see our subjects or our courses as independent things. I'm from English, the other person is from maths, the other person is. But I think for me the most wonderful part of eTwinning is that I've been able to see that we can work with different departments from different areas, and that competencies are much more effective when you make connections between them. As a language teacher, obviously the first thing that comes to mind regarding competencies is intercultural communicative competence. But eTwinning goes beyond, so it allows you to work on many different things. In fact, Georgia from Sweden here, she was the first person to propose a project with me about education, European values and education in values. So I think eTwinning allows you to do that, and it goes beyond, because what also I've discovered during this conference is that curriculum is fine, working with people to learn new things like curricular things is fine, but the most added value, or the probably the best about eTwinning, is that we are all humans. We are by actually having exchanges, you understand other people. We learned in yesterday's workshops that we are all biased because we come from a culture, we come from a country, but eTwinning makes us connect with other humans. So we are all humans. So for me, it's being a life game changer, actually. You know, so when you are able to understand others for real, not saying that I understand, but not only from the point of view of English, like I understand you as a human, I understand your problems, I get you, I feel you, then you make connections and probably that makes you a better person. What I think.
I was not ready for such deep interventions, but very nice. Thank you, Raquel. I don't know who wants to add to that. Yeah, go ahead, Monica.
I would also focus on communication and teamwork, because if our students will learn how to communicate and collaborate efficiently, they could face any challenge, any topic we let them work on. And I think that the other question about going beyond the project, if we choose the topic properly and we set them in their everyday life, we show them that we are not working only for the project benefits, but these things connects with their everyday life, with, for example, their future duties as a citizenship. I think all those values we show them through the collaboration, the beyond borders in eTwinning projects will stay with them for life.
Yeah, I think we also have to think about teaching and on a national level, but maybe also on a European level and a global level. So I think through eTwinning we can give a European mindset to our students, and also in connection with teaching. So I thought the idea of that was brought up in the presentation before this panel discussion, of a module, an eTwinning module that can be implemented in teacher education institutions around Europe. That would be a very good idea, actually. So it's about teaching global competences. It's about educating global competences. eTwinning is also about that.
And I would just like to add one more thing about the networking aspect, because I think, I don't know why, but national teacher education is very putting individualism and working on your own in your class, not about collaboration somehow, even though you can gain so much from collaboration. But I think we have to prepare teachers to also know how to collaborate, because this does not come naturally. Like, you have to know how to start collaboration, but foremost also how to continue collaboration, like a sustainable way of working together. And I think in collaboration, it is also very important to give voice to every member of the group, which is not very easy to do, especially if there are maybe language difficulties. And I think we should understand that in collaboration this way, linguistic competencies are important, but it's still a working language. Like, no one has to be perfect at the language you're using. It's about the content, it's not about the form. And you should also use like the feedback you get, because communication and collaboration is all about giving feedback and receiving feedback. And this is always an educational offer. Like, every mirroring of what you're doing by someone else is giving you the opportunity to become better and to rethink what you've always been doing and what you thought was normal.
Maybe this is more for Monica and for Frederick, being around for a little bit longer than the rest, but have you seen any progress on the promotion of these competencies in teacher education, or do you think we still have a lot of work to do?
Well, I think that more and more institutions try to implement eTwinning in their curricula. So that's a very positive evolution. I think the idea of an eTwinning traineeship, like is also has been presented in Italy, or is implemented in Italy, is also very, very interesting, because then the students learn eTwinning in real practice at real schools. They come into contact with experienced teachers. So that's something that for the future that maybe can be more can be worked on. So yeah.
Okay.
No.
Monica,
I would be happy to say that we made as big progress as Italy, but not yet there. But still, I see how it changes. At least in Poland, we have new ideas, new models, and I think we have more interest from universities and more recognition for those students who decide to try this new, at least for them, a new method of work. And I hope we do our best to continue this development and maybe someday be equal to Italian models.
that's something to look forward to. So if I got it correctly, the collaboration, teamwork, communication are actually the competencies that you would target when addressing the citizenship education with your student teachers. Did I got it right? Yeah. I would like to ask now from the back if you can show me, sorry, I cannot read the screens. Can you show me the words so to see if we want to comment on them? Sorry. Otherwise I need to stand up. Which is fine. I can stand up. Okay, wonderful. So we have words here such as self-knowledge, socio-scientific issues, okay, open-mindedness, plurilingualism, equality, ethics, sense of responsibility. Let's say that the collaboration is the one that pops up. Empathy, soft skills, critical thinking, acceptance, flexibility, human rights, respect, communication, tolerance. Well, some of these words are not exactly competences. They are more values than competences, but still critical thinking is now the same level as collaboration. I don't know if you would like to comment on some. Can you see all of them? Yeah? Tolerance, solidarity, pedagogy, respect of others, mediation, playing. Oh, that's a nice one. Understanding, teamwork, integration, share ideas, respect of others, equality, ethics, digital education, lifelong learning. We have here something that confirms what you were saying. I don't know if you would like to add something more to what the colleagues are saying. I think this is also from online as well as from here. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Madeleine.
Maybe I would say, because I thought about this question too, and I was like, which competencies do you expect? And usually you expect like knowledge and social competence. And I was like, is really knowledge the thing you need for citizenship education? It is important to know like what it is all about, what you can do, what rights and responsibilities you have as a citizen. But I think the most important thing to put the knowledge into practice, what we want as citizens, we want active and engaging citizens, is so it's like personal competencies, is courage, is wanting to participate, willingness, motivation. So I really liked also the research meet with someone, Georgios. He's researching on motivation and keeping the motivation in eTwinning. And I think this is something we should do in citizenship education too. Like also teachers wanting to do this, seeing this as their civic responsibility, as their pedagogical responsibility. Yeah.
Yeah, I think eTwinning is not only about competences. Student teachers can acquire loads of competences, pupils as well. But I think we cannot underestimate the fun factor. So I think eTwinning has to be fun, has to be rock and roll. I think
it was the playing
yeah,
word
so
there.
this is students like this to be in contact with fellow other students from other countries. They do amazing things, sometimes through their own initiative. So I've seen really, really wondrous things, and well, for me, it's an enjoyment to see that my students enjoying themselves through eTwinning, doing eTwinning projects.
And I would say that also teachers should have fun with this project and then really enjoy it, because if they will enjoy it, they will have a passion, they will show their passion to the students, and once they showed it, students will follow them no matter what the topics would be bring up. And I'm happy that someone wrote that critical thinking is really, really important. In a time when we are flooded with fake news, with disinformation, it's really important to bring this thing in our projects, in our activities with students. It's really crucial for them and for us to have tools to find truth among those things they found in net.
Okay, so it seems with eTwinning we can have it all. We can have the fun, we can have motivation, we can have competence-based curriculum. So don't be afraid of working with people from other areas. So I remember my first years with eTwinning, I was looking for people who work with English in primary. This is the ideal situation, but if you don't find anybody that fits, maybe you can work with a maths teacher for secondary and maybe do something together. So don't be afraid of opening your mind.
That's nice. Maybe Raquel, maybe you can still keep the mic. And also before saying goodbye to you and inviting someone else on stage, you are sharing all nice things, but usually what would be the, let's say, a blocking factor or something, a challenge? I think we can always overcome a challenge, so I wouldn't like to say just something that blocks, because it seems like we cannot overcome it, but what would you see as a challenge that can be overcome?
Well, for us, this is a perfect opportunity to say that in Spain, university is very rigid in terms of promotion and the system. So for us, for Spaniards in particular, I'm sorry if I'm being too local, but it would really help that the ministry and eTwinning talk, because we have like a checklist. We have to tick every item. So talking with the national agency and considering eTwinning as transference, which we know it is, will really help Spaniards to get involved in eTwinning for real. If from the European Commission you get to talk with ANECA, you will have all Spanish university professors with ANECA. So yeah, because that's a real challenge right now. University professors from Spain that work with eTwinning do it just because they are romantic. They believe in what they are doing, they know the benefits, but it is extra effort that you're taking from your personal life, probably from your sleep and so on, and it doesn't really count. From our professional curriculum, and we have to meet the standards. So in the end, you have to do everything that everyone's doing, plus eTwinning. So it will really help. I offer myself and also my colleagues to work with that. So yeah, we have contacts. So please,
this is
hear us out. Thank you very much for
this is
hearing
being
us.
recorded. I don't know if you are aware.
That would be perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Raquel. Well, I don't know if you want to add any other challenge that you are, Frederick, maybe, I don't know, being there for so much time. Have you found any obstacles?
Still, it takes some time for students and personnel to register. So the platform can be a bit too rigid still sometimes, but we get more and more used to it. Furthermore, planning, it's important to have a good planning at the start of your project, that you can have partners that you can trust, who put equal effort in the project. But for the rest, I think eTwinning is a great thing and should be promoted more and more in teacher education.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, I think we need to give a big applause to Raquel. And I would like to invite now the next brave one. Thank you. You need to remind me your name. Vincent. Vincent. Okay. Thank you, Vincent, for joining us. Well, the next set of questions will be on the future of eTwinning in citizenship education and teacher development. And I would like to ask, I don't know, Vincent, maybe you can tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been around?
Zero.
Zero, okay.
So I'm one of the newcomers,
Mm-hmm.
but I've been stimulated a bit about this discussion on citizenship education and the competencies, so that's why I offer to take the floor.
Okay. Then maybe we can start maybe with Madeleine and Frederick, and maybe, I don't know, Monica, if you have some examples. But could you share one or two examples of successful eTwinning projects that focused on citizenship education? And you have plenty of examples.
Okay, so actually Frederick and I, we just had, or we're just having right now a very interesting eTwinning project with ITE students. It is about the national within the international, exploring what it means to be a teacher in Europe. And we thought it was very important in times of like right-wing extremism and seeing that Europe is tending not towards democracy, but in different directions. That we want to have teachers also understand their position and how maybe they are positioned by politics, by national educational discourses, by global discourses on what global competences should be like, and maybe also have them or give them voice in seeing if there's like a difference and also maybe a challenge in being a national teacher and an international teacher at the same time sometimes, you know? Maybe national values contradict European values to some extent. Or maybe you want to be more global or international and maybe your national system is just not open for it. So this is what we wanted to do, and it has been a very successful project so far with 30 students from Germany, from Spain, from Malta, and from Japan actually, because he has a very international semester in Belgium. We've been to the European Parliament with them, so we wanted to give them a chance to explore both the Belgium national educational system, the German national educational system, but also the European educational system and educational space virtually, but also in presence, like really going to the institutions, exploring the House of European History. So making them aware of the differences in the education systems and the educational spaces, I want to say, social spaces, political spaces. And really seeing like, where am I in all of this? And how am I going to transport this in my class? And also,
have you reached any conclusion?
Yeah, I think the students were really happy with what we've done so far.
They were quite involved, and they did quite some research also around the topic of global competences. What does it mean, educating global competences? Teaching SDGs, so they did research about how to teach this, how to transmit this to pupils. Actually, the project that we are doing now is a follow-up of a project that we did last year. So this is another example. It was called the Worldwide School, Educating Global Competences. And I remember at the beginning of this project, the students could imagine their dream school. So they had to define what their dream school would be in a global context. So that was quite interesting to see what came out. Another example that I can give is I was involved in an Erasmus Plus project called DLab, Digital Learning Across Boundaries. And there we had a theme, change makers. So, and one of the themes in the Changemakers project was breaking environmental boundaries. And then we let the students think about how could we survive on the water. If everything gets floated, how can we survive? So they had to think about solutions for global warming. So I think eTwinning, to conclude, I think eTwinning can be used to tackle global challenges.
And actually, I also did a project, a very small project in my seminar. It was about the European Soccer Championship and about Olympics. And we asked ourselves, how much pedagogical responsibilities do people have in positions like this, like representing a nation? And we also thought about the fact that, especially the German national team, they are very fond of having statements and, like, you know, wearing the badge in Dubai and having a pink t-shirt to show gender equality. And we thought, like, how much influence does this have on teaching in schools? If also, like, the NFL in the USA kneels down to end racism, like, how much power is there in political figures and also sports people? And how can we use this in schools to get students engaged in talking about topics like this? If their idols do this, how do we not do this in schools?
Vincent or Monica. Monica, go ahead.
You. We started in the beginning of this school year a series of projects with the help of our ambassadors, which focuses on student school boards, where students from different local schools collaborate with each other on developing their student school boards activity plans. They discuss also the budgets and their local duties. Maybe it's really local on the national level, but it still, I think, gives them perspective that it's something wider, that's not only on their school level, but how big influence they can have at this stage of their life, on the local community, on the local environment. The projects are still in run, so we have no visible results yet, but I have a big hope that at the end of this little experiment we'll have something to show you, something to, for example, maybe create some project kits to be distributed among European teachers, and maybe something to support celebration of this theme year. Let's keep our fingers crossed for that.
Thank you, Monica. Vincent, would you like to comment?
So basically, I am coming from the sustainability education background. And for me, the more I work in this field, the more it becomes clear to me that citizenship education is actually about creating citizens who can be part of creating a sustainable future. And although I have never worked directly through eTwinning, I've done too many Erasmus to remember, and also other budget lines like DEAR and so on, which actually link schools together, like the development education budget line. So I can sympathize a lot with what is being said, because I've done a lot of similar work, but under some different umbrella. And recently we had a project actually on teaching sustainability across schools. And we also did some research. So I would like just to share some important outcomes. So I think the work on sustainability competencies has been going on for quite some time. And for example, the Arizona State University have come out with some very, very clear sustainability competencies that are about us, teachers. So we should be adopting these sustainability competencies, and then, of course, encouraging our students. And some of them are very intuitive and have been mentioned, like systems thinking, for example, in a timetable which is really compartmentalized. How can we start making the link? So it was mentioned just now, the values part, the normative part. I like, for example, what you said about the dream school, because one of the very important competencies is this anticipatory or future competence. So especially in primary schools, for example, that are mainly based in their own catchment area, so much important work can be done to imagine how my village will look like in 20, 30 years. And then, of course, the collaborative competence and the strategic competence. And I'm going to stop a bit on this, because we did some research actually across a number of schools in Portugal, Finland, Malta. And what came out is that teachers, for example, have highly developed systems thinking competence, but very weak strategic competencies, which I think for me this is really important, because it is strategy that is about creating change and long-term impact. So I'm saying this because perhaps we need to invest also a bit more work in how to strategize to bring about change. And I'm saying this because the major competencies always point out to what we call a meta-competence. And this meta-competence is the problem-solving competence. So the ability to actually create a sustainable future. So I think that we need to strategize a bit more when it comes to leading impact, and I think that we need to be very much aware that this knowledge awareness does not lead necessarily to a behavior. There's a gap. So our pedagogies really need to be focused on learning, yes, investigating solutions, but also within the school context, offering possibilities to actually take action as part of the same pedagogy that we're using, and not end up with one line. Then perhaps at home you can do something. But actually within the school, creating a model, because schools are microcosms of the future society that we would like to envision, and it gives us the space to do it and work on that. So that's what I wanted to share, actually.
Thank you very much. That's also very, very interesting. I usually say that if you want to change the world, you work with teachers. So I think that's exactly what you're saying. No, you can stay. You're the last one. Yes, sorry. We are actually reaching the end of our discussion, and I would like to look into the next question, and maybe next and probably the last one that we also asked the audience, and that would be, what would be the potential developments and innovations in eTwinning to better serve future teachers? Do you have any thoughts on it? I mean, we can go through some comments here. More and more reasons to get involved, okay. Shared bank of ideas of how teacher educators use eTwinning to teach their curriculum by making small adaptations. That's what we aim with these events, and also with some best practices that we promote throughout the year. Adjust eTwinning to new trends and current affairs, example Gen AI, and exploit the platform's potential to get students and teachers better selves. Comparative research. Future teachers need training in depth, okay. Participation in transnational meetings, well, this is where we are. Develop a module that we can address, I lost it, address to our students, okay. International weeks coordinated at European level to have some common time frame that could be, lost it again, sorry. Okay, but maybe we can go for you. What would be your answer to this question? What would be the potential developments and innovations in eTwinning to better serve the future teachers? And to the new ones, don't be afraid to repeat what is already there. No problem at all. It's fair, only fair that you are not fully aware of what is around, but maybe some suggestions.
No, I'm going to just mention one suggestion, because it is also linked to the research that we did in this teacher training for sustainability. And what came out is that one of the biggest hurdles is actually the textbook and the over-reliance on the textbook. And reflecting here, I think that really through eTwinning, where actually we have the potential to share resources, we can actually beat the over-reliance on the textbook. Because what came out also was that the over-reliance on the textbook is usually linked to time. So it's so hard to find time to create creative resources every day under all of the pressures that teachers face. But actually the collaborative competence is actually about sharing resources. And I think within eTwinning, especially where you have regions which follow similar curricula, or curricula that are based on the same historic, like Malta and countries that were ex-colonies, for example, we have really similar education systems. I think there is much more potential to create interesting and engaging lesson plans built on collaboration, which help us abandon a bit the textbook and give us more space to reach the same objectives with a much more creative way.
Just one remark on that. We as NSO are working with eTwinning enthusiasts in the universities, because some of them, rather most of them, doesn't see a benefit in eTwinning. There's no publications, no funds for universities. So I think beneficial for us would be involve more policymakers and start working equally from the bottom up and up down to maybe create some opportunities, some special points, some more benefits for universities to convince the unconvinced now and not fighting with closed doors as we do now.
Go ahead.
Maybe also adding to this, the relevance of also international collaboration is not obvious to everyone. Like, I don't know, like with my students, the first question is, but how does it help if I talk to someone in Belgium about my teaching? Because it's not the same. So how should we help each other? Because I have my national curriculum, he or she has his national curriculum. How can we collaborate? And this is like, maybe you have to show the relevance. We have to see, as you say, maybe prove the benefits.
Yes, good practice examples, scenarios, how those unconvinced can implement eTwinning in their own job curricula, not cutting the sleeping time, as Raquel said, but using those ideas on everyday work with students.
Maybe may I add something? Like I'm an enthusiast for eTwinning, and I really try to give this to my students. But then again, the platform, I think it maybe needs some technical overdue, or maybe design overdue, because my students are very motivated at the beginning, and then there's a technical issue. It's difficult to upload. Sometimes it's under progress, and you cannot access the platform, which I really have to keep their motivation up and say it's okay, and remember, and it's still a good thing, and also the long process of getting really onto the platform. I always tell them that it's important because it's also designed for like primary students, so very young age, and it should be a very safe space, and also for them seeing the benefit of having a safe space and being validated, which of course is an obstacle at first. It's not as easy as social media, you just log on and go, but it's a safe space that they should maybe also value as such.
Yes, it's work in progress.
Well, another opportunity could be maybe that eTwinning is a community, and we can maybe give the information to our students that if they are in eTwinning, they are in a community, they can build friendships, they can make contacts for life. I also see some students who have been involved in eTwinning, they go on an Erasmus long-term study afterwards. So it can be also a trigger to go on an international mobility. So that's another opportunity, I think.
I think so too, because I always tell them that eTwinning is a bit like a teacher Tinder. Like if you're really into internationalization, in your staff room, it is very difficult to find out who is also interested. Like it's always very difficult if you're meeting another teacher to find out, is she really wanting like to do projects? Is he or she really wanting to go into international comparative projects? Like, and in this platform, everyone is willing, everyone is committed, everyone is passionate, and everyone is willing to also put in the extra time and extra work. So this is actually like the safe space of going out there with your ideas and just saying, hey, I'm here, who would like to do cooperation, collaborate.
And that should be definitely the focus.
Yeah.
The focus that we look into and look forward to. To finalize this panel discussion, we only have 5 minutes, and I think we would like also to have a group picture before some of you start leaving to the airport. So to finalize this discussion, first of all, again, thank you to Vincent, Raquel, for being the brave ones coming on stage, and to Monica, Frederic, and Madeleine for accepting the invitation to have this conversation with me here. For me, it was very, very interesting, and I would like to keep on the conversation going. So to close the conversation, I would like to ask you one final message that you would like to give to the ones that are listening to us, both here and online, on how can we, on fostering the citizenship education through eTwinning. One final message. I can give you a few seconds to think about it. Go ahead, Monica.
Start. Be open, give it a try, and you will be amazed with the results. Just give it a chance.
Go ahead.
I would say be courageous. Just put yourself out there. I know it is like intimidating at first, and you don't know if someone likes your idea or not. But just go out there. As I see, it's a benevolent community, so it's like the danger of not being accepted is very low.
I think eTwinning goes beyond learning. It's about getting to know each other, fun factor, and learning at the same time.
Well, most of my work in schools is actually on what we call the whole institution approach to change, where the school actually, like we said before, reflects the type of society that we would like. And for sure, the type of society we would like is one with more interconnectedness, yes? So I think eTwinning gives this opportunity to strengthen the interconnectedness part within a whole institution approach to change.
And in an interconnected world, we all have a role to play. So my final words, if I may, to all of you is let's dare to be part of changing the world and continue the work that we've been doing here so far. Thank you.
So since we have 2 minutes, I think we can take a group picture and then we will have a short break. We will meet again at 11:30, and we will do our final interactive work during the reflection session. So, shall we, Ruth? I think we can come here, yeah? So please come over for the group picture. And okay, I'm gonna give it away bit by bit. So we also have prepared a small surprise for you at the end. Yeah. Group picture. Perfect. Let me just a collaborative reflective session. So based on ideas that you've heard throughout the conference, input from Maria Chiara Pettenati on the models and the activities, and also some input that I'll provide in the next 2 slides. We will do kind of an interactive activity. So for just to, here. So as you should and probably all know by now, in eTwinning for Future Teachers, we are mainly using 2 activities. Activity 1 refers to the curriculum, so the way that we can integrate eTwinning for Future Teachers within the IT curriculum, and that could take different formats. You can see, for instance, introductory modules, so discussing about eTwinning, or it could be the integration of eTwinning within existing courses that you might have, depending on what you're teaching. And of course, for that, you are highly encouraged to collaborate and ask for support from eTwinning actors. That could be national support organizations, it could be the ambassadors, experts that can assist you in terms of training student teachers in the platform, in the tools, the twin space, and so on and so forth. The IT twinners, which are specialized in terms of the eTwinning for Future Teachers, so that could be more experienced teacher educators, and of course the student teachers themselves, to somehow encourage each other and support each other in terms of the platform navigation, in terms of more could be pedagogical aspects related to the projects. And the second activity is the actual implementation of the eTwinning projects. And again, here we have 2 different models. The one refers to the teacher educators and student teachers connecting at local, regional, national, or European level to conduct the eTwinning projects. And the second model referred to the student teachers who are in placement, in school placement, and they can connect each other with their classrooms, with school pupils, and they can implement the eTwinning projects. So, based on those activities, these are the current activities and models that we use, let's say, in eTwinning for Future Teachers. But now we want to take a step further and see if we can try and reflect and brainstorm on new ideas, formats, models, activities. And for that, we will ask and rely on the support of our dear, dear NSO colleagues. So okay, so I want you to go and sit on a table with other colleagues. So if you can just join, for instance, that group or this group, and I want 1 NSO colleague per table. So if you can just raise your hand so I can see you. Okay, so for sure, I want you to split in different tables. So Anne, if you can, exactly, thank you. Feel free also to join here the tables of Liene, of Iris. No, Iris, can I ask you to join one of the tables there? So have all tables 1 NSO staff? Yep, sure, voila. Iris, you have been requested. No, it's easier if Iris, I think, joins you. Here. Ivana, can you split and perhaps join also the table here with Liene? Yeah, Cornelia, please join here. Natalia, if you can have a seat here in this with France. It's also Rosanne. Wait, Natalia, give me a second. Maya, please join this table here. So we have Iris, we have Rosanne, we have Lien. Bravo. Okay, Natalia, you should join the table of Yanis. Okay, good. Sylvain, Marqueta. Okay, great. And Miguel. Okay, so we will work on 2 rounds, and in parallel, apart from the on-site participants, we have also the online audience that they will also be engaging with the same activities. So, we have 2 rounds. In the first round, you will find 3 main questions. So, the advantages related to the activities and models that we are currently using. So just reflect a bit and note 2 or 3 advantages and challenges, but also solutions that you propose in relation to the activities and models. Okay? And for that, please consider 10 minutes so you can already start discussing. And you will use this as input for the next round of the activity. Okay? So, 10 minutes from now. Enjoy. So you have 3 more minutes for this round. 3 more minutes. So, may I have your attention now? Sorry. Désolé. I don't want to make my teacher voice, so please, please, thank you. Thank you. So now, yeah, already. So now we need to move to round 2, which is the actual brainstorming session. So, based on what you have discussed so far and any potential advantages, disadvantages, or solutions that you might have identified, we want them now to be integrated in a more tangible way. So, some indicative examples of innovative formats could be co-creating curricular units or teaching modules or a whole IT module, as it was mentioned after the first keynote. It could be also the actual co-teaching of this module. So 2 teacher educators from different universities, different countries could co-teach the specific items that will be included. Project clinics that could focus more on practical issues or SF/eTwinning related aspects. It could be challenge-based or research-based teaching and learning, where you introduce research input, contemporary research advancements into your teaching and learning process. Could be hackathons, design thinking, learning theories, theories of motivation, pedagogical approaches or aspects that you already cover in your own curricula and courses that you are teaching. It could be also blended or virtual placements, so how you can design blended mobilities with the support of eTwinning and other funding schemes of Erasmus+. It could be the placements, it could be the Erasmus+ teacher academies that we've heard also yesterday from a couple of colleagues. So now the idea is that we want you to, the first aspect that we say create a brief infographic, just avoid that. Focus on identifying one main idea that you would like to propose. 2 to 3 bullet points on how this idea that you propose contributes to teachers' professional development in terms of initial teacher education and also in relation to eTwinning, and the practical steps for implementation. So For instance, yesterday we've heard about concrete steps that you could follow either in terms of the partner finding and networking sessions or for the research meet session. So just try to build kind of, how can I say that, like a backbone of the process that you would need to follow. Okay? Too easy. Perfect, perfect. Enjoy. You want this one? Yes. But you have it also here. So if you... Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, you can take it.
So if you can finish in 10 minutes so we can reserve 5 minutes at the end for a quick presentation, that would be amazing. Okay, so 10 minutes left. Yeah? Okay, perfect. So 2 minutes left in case we haven't finished yet. So you can start concluding your discussions. You're ready? 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 From that side, are we ready? Ooh, okay, perfect. So, do we have any volunteer who would like to present? Vincent? No? Yeah? Let me bring you, you can come here if you want, or you can we have a microphone? Maybe it's better if you come here so the online participants can actually see who is talking. It would be nicer. No, leave it. Yeah.
So we're each going to tell you about what we thought about. We worked with Marketa from the Czech Republic.
Donc on parle de current activities and models.
No,
The advantages.
No, the advantages, just the last one. About the main idea that you
Main ideas. Oh, main ideas.
Yeah, so we have to split.
Vous allez le faire, moi du coup je suis pas.
So we thought that we would think about co-teaching. So my colleagues are going to tell you about co-teaching.
Okay, so the first bullet point we focused on was co-teaching within our university and trying to involve more teachers crossing subjects. That's what we did last year, working, so I'm an English teacher, I worked with a math teacher within my university, and it was on a music project. Okay, so that was nice, but well, we would like to promote this more and more, interdisciplinary projects. And it is linked to CLIL, and maybe that will be your turn. Yeah, no, okay. So that's it. Now, what about the lesson preparation for the online event? And that's your part. Yeah.
Okay, it's just another example of co-teaching, but this time with our international partners. I guess you do that, all of you. When we've got an online event, we need to prepare lots of stuff, notably, for example, a little reminder on what education for sustainable development is. It's what we did last year on water, for example. And then we had to prepare, and we did it all of us together, some games so that the students could work in breakout rooms. So we want to keep this type of activities as fun as possible. And so it's co-teaching online. It's also kind of co-fun because we have fun preparing this with the partners, honestly. And that's about it.
Just one, okay, may I add something? No, okay. So just something I'd like to say about a colleague who has just gone, so Diana from Austria, and she's going to visit me in my small institute in January. And during the coffee break, we said, okay, so we're going to talk about eTwinning, because she's going to meet my students and who are involved in a project with her. So this is co-teaching, that it will be on site, co-teaching. So it may happen sometimes.
Just one more thing about the practical steps for implementation. We think that it's very important to schedule the cooperation within the working hours of our university. So that's a wishful thinking, I know. But
Great wishful thinking, working hours at the university. Amazing. Thank you. Great. Any other volunteer? Yeah, please. Frederick, yeah, come. Yeah. We have a chair, come. Yeah. Thank you.
So our group spoke a lot about students, about involving students to the student teachers to be at the center of whatever is created. based on the lines of eTwinning being innovative. eTwinning brings about student-centered approaches, so it is the innovation that we need in the 21st century. So how can we do this? We thought that the teacher educator would present an idea of a project or something, but then we would start off with seeing what the students' prior learning and experiences are, expose them to the eTwinning platform, so to speak, but then leaving it up to the students to present their idea. So the approach will be coming from the bottom up, and it is the students that will choose the kind of idea of how to develop such a project. So here we spoke about as well that the students will not only be involved in a project and creating a project, but also choosing the platform that they would operate this kind of collaboration. So the teacher is the facilitator, the teacher educator, and this is something that then they can carry on easily in their placements when they are in place in student teaching practice sessions, or else afterwards when they are teachers, because by the time they would be teachers, they would be very proficient in these kinds of projects. With respect to implementation, we said obviously such a project or projects would be part of the curriculum of the unit or that the teacher educator would be using, but it would obviously involve 3 to 4 universities. I like the idea, we like the idea very much of the first group where they spoke about co-teaching, and eTwinning will support the idea that the teaching will happen across different countries, but virtually. So, you know, even within your curriculum, you could have a session where it could be a 2-hour virtual session with lots of beautiful ideas coming from the students themselves of how they will collaborate online with students from, say, 3 to 4 universities. It's important, obviously, to get the students exposed to free resources and tools, platforms, instruments, and other innovative pedagogies. Obviously, there are challenges. Challenges such as time, challenges of content within our own curriculum, challenges of resources, perhaps. But then we would try to iron out these challenges in terms of learning, even ourselves, how to include them in our units or curricula, how to make time for them without going too much out of the structure. There are some of us who like the idea of involving this in special units or in themes, for example, themes about situations in schools. Someone liked the idea of summer schools, for example, but some of us said that summer schools wouldn't be too popular because it would be going out too much of our calendar year and whatever. But the main important thing is giving students a voice. We are in the 21st century. We are talking here about ITE, so 18 plus students, and definitely they can map out together with us their way of learning through eTwinning.
Great, thank you very much. And I think one more.
As the clock is ticking, we are going to be very short. We are all watching our watches. So.
The main advantages to be involved in eTwinning projects are the fact that you can learn from peers, e-safety provided by the platform, digital and professional development, and the main challenges are lack of recognition, lack of digital competence to manage the platform, and difficulty to find partners. I hope this conference will bring me the chance to work with other persons and will be a way to facilitate cooperation. Thank you all.
We also found the solutions to these problems, to these challenges, and the first one is providing with credits and diplomas recognition for teachers. The second solution would be training dissemination by the national support organizations. And then difficulty to find partners is easy as well, with fairs like this one, partner finding, IT, European or national groups, and annual conferences or multilateral by different national organizations. And also about round two, right, the idea, we came up with the idea that we need a holistic approach, that we need to skip individuality and perceive the school as a whole, that we at the university model what we want our students to do, to put into practice when they go to school. That is, show them what to be a good teacher is, right? We need to transmit that there has to be a shared mission, right? When you go visit British schools, you see mission, the mission of the school. We don't have that in Spain, for example, and that would be very interesting, that they all share the same idea of what a school should be, that a school should be, right? So some interdisciplinarity. And then this holistic approach, we mean by that school and university have to work together, right? And then we think that student teachers must embrace the beauty of real schools approach. Okay, so go more down to the school to see what there is, and we came up with a final reflection, that is, do we practice what we preach? And that's it.
Perfect closing. Somewhere I forgot, I think, my clicker. Not too far. Nice. Great. Thank you very much. And now we just a quick reminder about the eTwinning groups. So as you know, we have 2 European groups. The one is dedicated to teacher educators. So if you're not a member yet, reach out to your national support organization and we will invite you over and add you in the group. So here you can actually connect with the teacher educators from across and beyond Europe. And we have the second eTwinning group, which is dedicated to student teachers, and this is mainly moderated by the eTwinning IT ambassadors. With different activities, and these are actually the 2 main reference points, access points for the people, the community. Also, because we received a question about this, I would like to bring to your attention this self-paced course that we have on ESEP, and includes, of course, eTwinning. So in this course, you will be able to, if you haven't been through the content of this course, you have all the information about the platform, the features, the tools, the eTwinning tools, how to set up a twin space, how to use the twin boards, the forums, and so on and so forth. So you can either use the link or scan the QR code. The self-paced course is translated in all languages, so you will find the localized version in your own language. And also, we are currently updating the module by adding a specific section for IT, for initial teacher education. And also, another thing that I wanted to mention is that you all have access to the conference website. So on the left side of the menu, you have the conference attendees. So in case you want to also reach out to other colleagues, you feel free to contact within the platform. All the presentations will be uploaded there. So from the workshops, partner finding, keynote speeches, and the first and the third day of the conference is also recorded. So we will share everything with you. Okay? And now I would like to invite Mathilde from the European Commission for a brief closing, and don't leave because we have one minor thing after that.
Yes, please don't leave because here I am again. I open this conference on the first day. Quite nervous, I must say, like I didn't really know what will happen. And then I, looking all of you now, unfortunately, I cannot look at the persons online, but really, I think it was a very, very nice conference. I would like to really show my gratitude to all of you for your collaborations, for all these very nice discussions that you all had together. I think I heard a lot. I was more on a listening mode, and I think new projects were created actually during these 3 days, new partnerships and new ideas. And also, like, we feel all supported and motivated to bring, to leverage eTwinning into IT. So really, it is what I will take with me and to my colleagues. And I wanted to really say that, yes, in these last 3 days, we explored what citizenship education means. We questioned the concept of interculturality, and I think we can all agree now that EU values are much more broader, like they are universals. And you, as educators of teachers, it is very, very important that they experience themselves as values. I really like your talk, Madeleine, when you say like they have to experiences to be able to also not promote them, but explain what it is and what it means also to be EU citizens, but being a citizens of the world and being able to live together, to be able to discuss difficult matters together. I think in our world today it is more and more important. So thank you very much for this. And indeed, eTwinning, I think it's a perfect platform to experience these values, to also exchange, explore the world through digital, but it's also the first step to the Erasmus Plus journey. Then it can be the other way around. I heard a nice story that through an Erasmus Plus project, people experience eTwinning, so it can be the other way around as well. And for you as IT institutions, once again, I would like to mention the Erasmus Plus Teachers Academies. I will share the link to the submission forms that should be out. Normally, my colleagues told me this weekend, maybe it might be next week, but we have it. And the call is anyway published in the Erasmus Plus Guide 2025, and I will share it with the CSS. Yes, Marta Philip and Maria Chiara are not here today, because they left, but I really wanted to thank them too for their keynote speech. It was very enlightening. And we even experienced, I think, all what democracy linked with competitiveness is about during our scavenger hunt in Budapest. And for this, I want to thank the NSO Hungary for it. I think we all felt it in our legs, and yeah. We will remember it. So it was actually nice to put it in practice. I would like very much also to thank the CSS, EUN, for this very, very, very nice event, the nice dinner we had yesterday. I think it was very nice, and for all the good networking that we had all together. Don't hesitate to reach out. We listen, we are a team, and yes, I think this reflection today was very enlightening to us. So thank you very much. Go safe home.
And a quick thank you also from our side to all of you being here with us, and to the online audience, and to Mathilde representing the European Commission, and our colleagues Ruth, Maria Elena, Zofia, our colleagues from Brussels that they were supporting the live streaming, Jessica and Milena as well, and the technical team for making everything happen. Thank you very much. And now I think it's the moment to move to the last thing that we prepared for you.
a paradise. This world that I found is too good to